This is Adirudra Astrology, and today we are going to do a video on very interesting topic, uh, which is currently in trend, uh, cryptocurrency, and we are going to study the cosmic effect or the cosmic effect of all the planets at the time of the Genesis block of Bitcoin. One of my friend, he recently inquired that can I study chart of cryptocurrency, like would I be interested in doing that. So he gave me some details regarding the Genesis block of Bitcoin, which gives me details regarding the date, time and time zone and the place where the first block was created or mined. So the details I got are January 3rd 2009 around 6:15 p.m. and the place I'm taking it as Tokyo, Japan. So this study or reading or video is not trying to undermine anything or disrespect any kind of technology. We are just trying to study the cosmic chart of Bitcoin when its first Genesis block was created, to get into in-depth detail where whatever behavior, whatever scenarios are going around the Bitcoin community, uh, can we get some details regarding those from its chart? Can we uh, get details about its worth, its valuation, whatever the current news like fork and everything are going on around it. So does its chart gives us some detail regarding that and all those things. And later on, what we can do is we can go on to other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, and like one of my friend, he's very keen and getting into details of all this cryptocurrencies. So what I have told him is, like, if he can arrange for all the Genesis block details, like when its first block was mined or something like that, then I can go into reading those charts and we can come up with some sort of pattern or studies, nothing more. And we can even create like, what happens is each and every chart is designed in a specific way for, like, people, if they are trying to invest in something, it might be the case that their chart is not ready, or their chart is not made for trading purposes or like investing by themselves purposes. Sometimes the chart is for them to give money to someone else, and then that person should, like a broker or someone, should invest in and those, because some planets, if they are weak like moon or mercury, a person is not able to target or pinpoint the time when uh, the trade would go down, or suddenly the down trend will begin or something like that. Like, he will not be able to predict those things if moon or mercury, which are like the major factors in analyzing the investment market or the stock market, are. So the person might not be able to do those stuff. So we are going to make those videos also, like who which what kind of combinations or what kind of chart you need to have so that you can do a proper trading or analysis and all those things. So let's get into Bitcoin chart. So what details I get over here, the main chart I'm getting over here, the natal chart, the Lagna chart, is of Cancer ascendant, whose Lagna lord is Moon, which is sitting in ninth house. So ninth house is house of different traditions, religions, long distance places, long distance journeys. So what this shows me is that uh, the Bitcoin or the current chart, whosoever owns this chart or whosoever has this chart, has no boundaries with respect to religions, caste, or traditions. Like, it can be accepted, or it can involve into any kind of area, location. It can travel to long distances. So this is one of the things which uh, shows a very high capacity of cryptocurrency or Bitcoin to be accepted by a very vast or huge number of people with different backgrounds and different places. Then uh, another important point of Cancer ascendant is like around Cancer ascendant people are uh, the public feels comfortable, like uh, uh, they feel like accepting Cancer ascendant people because they feel like the Cancer ascendant person is showing some sort of care for them. So Cancer ascendant people generally are very much accepted by the community and well respected people. uh, and the chart owner of a Cancer ascendant is accepted by mass. That's what I'm trying to convey. Now Ketu in ascendant. So Ketu has some bad effects and some positive effects. The bad effects are like the person who has Ketu in his first house doesn't have any like it doesn't run by with his own thoughts, like it depends on other people to give it some value, some ideas and everything. So here, like Bitcoin depends on other public mass, public acceptance and everything to gain its value, uh, to attain its value. And then Ketu, wherever it sits, it creates a detachment or some sort of breakage in that place. So when Ketu is sitting in the first house, it's creating the forking position which we are seeing, like different scenarios where different forks are happening and everything. So what Ketu does is it divides that chart. It breaks that chart because it's sitting in the first house. So the identity of the owner of this chart is being broken again and again whenever the first house or the Ketu is getting activated. So what it's doing is it's creating those scenarios where different forks in the community are happening. Now Saturn in the second house. Saturn, wherever it sits, it creates some sort of hurdles and patience and then slow and steady growth over there. So second house is actually self-worth, whatever saving or value you are going to generate. So when Saturn is sitting in second house, it's going to increase valuation of that charts in a steady and slow manner. So what happens is this also gives this chart a strong opportunity to gain more and more value and attain more and more value. Then when we see that Venus is sitting in opposite to Saturn, they are friendly planets, and Saturn is expecting its own house and its own sign. And eighth house is actually house of hidden values, and where Venus, the karka for this chart, how karka of profits as well as worth, like the land and valuation uh, or assets which this chart is going to attain is being shown by the fourth house, and the lord of fourth house is sitting in the eighth house. So this again, it's creating hidden assets, hidden valuation, hidden profits and everything. So this combination, Saturn and Venus sitting opposite to each other, and which are activating this second, eighth, fourth and 11th axis all together, it's creating a combination which actually increases hidden as well as public valuation of this chart owner, and in essence valuation of Bitcoin. So this chart totally tells me that valuation of Bitcoin will keep on increasing in a steady manner. Yeah, it might fluctuate because nothing, not even a human being or a thing can attain its value without any drops, or like with a will always win without any falls. A person also has to fall and then win again. So the same scenario will happen with this chart also, but in in all scenarios, on an average, it's going to attain and gain more valuation only. Then what we see here is the sixth house. Sun and Mars are sitting. So Mars is actually lord of fifth house. Fifth house is house of children. So what this position tells me is like, because the fork, whichever fork happens, is kind of like part of this chart, kind of like children of this chart, kind of like children of Bitcoin, then whatever relationship between the parent and children we see is we see from the fifth house, and the honor of the fifth house, Mars, is sitting in the sixth. So what's going to happen is the best competition which Bitcoin is going to get is actually from the forks. Whatever fork is going to happen, that new coin is going to give a lot of competition for the valuation and position to Bitcoin. So because sixth house is house of competition, house of enemies and everything, and the lord of fifth house, the children's and and social circle are going in sixth house, this creates a competitive environment between the parent and children. In essence, Bitcoin and the coins which are getting created after the fork, those two are going to have a competitive relationship between themselves, and they are going to fight for the first place. And its own forks are going to be the biggest enemies for the Bitcoin's valuation. That's for sure. Then Sun is actually authority, central government. So again, the sixth position is house of enemies, and Sun, wherever it sits, it's placed, it creates like lot of light over there. So sometimes Bitcoin is not, or the Bitcoin community will not able to guess from where the threats are coming. Suddenly some sort of threat might come, like government rule, regulations, or something might come which would devalue or demonetize its own value, Bitcoin's value. So those kind of so government regulations are the biggest hurdles for Bitcoin, and its own forks or its own children in essence are the biggest competitions for Bitcoin. Then Rahu, Jupiter, and Mercury are sitting in seventh house. Jupiter is debilitated over here. So this Rahu, seventh house actually is a public stage, public acceptance, the opposite party and everything. So what happens is here, because of Rahu, Mercury, and Jupiter, uh, this creates a combination where there's a immense amount of public acceptance. Like everyone, wherever Rahu is sitting, it creates a possessiveness over there. So the public is possessive, public stage is being possessive about Bitcoin. So whosoever buys it, gains it, they might trade, but maximum amount of whatever they are buying, they are going to hold it, they are going to keep it, because they are trying to possess it as much as possible. So public is always going to try to gain more and more Bitcoins, always. Then again, because Jupiter is debilitated, so uh, here Bitcoin itself is not going to work to increase its value or any kind of thing, but uh, other community people and the mass and the public is going to hold it or increase its valuation. And then we have discussed the hidden values which are being created with Venus. Hidden assets are being created with Venus being in the 8th house and in a friendly sign, which is also a sign of, again, public communication, public, and again new age technologies and everything, Aquarius. Then 12th house, where the Lagna Lord is sitting, positioned. That is also Moon. So Moon is also a watery planet, which like creates long distance journeys, and it's in the 9th house, then again house of long distance journeys. So this total chart is actually, in a sense, where the person in front or the public is going to increase its self-worth, asset value, and everything, where the coin itself, Bitcoin, will not have to do much effort in increasing its value. It's going to increase slow and in a steady manner. Later on, what we are going to do is like the shahs and everything, those things are also we are going to study, like how they are impacting it, how we might try to do a study of Bitcoin Cash also, like when it was created on around 1st August or 1st July in 2017. Like maybe my friend is trying to arrange exact time, date and location. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a study videos of each like major cryptocurrencies, and then try to compare each chart with the other one and see like how the cosmic aspects or the cosmic positions of these planets and the cosmic energies are creating valuations and the acceptance of different currencies in the public and everything. And then again, this is a total study for not trying to undermine the technology behind it and everything. We are just interested in seeing the uh, positions of different planets in the chart when the first block was getting created for this Bitcoin currency and everything. Hope everyone appreciates and like this video. Thank you very much.